Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to WSB Stony Brook. You just heard a couple of songs off of I Hate Heroes' newest album, Save Yourself, and They Were Alive. Here's to You, Remember Me, and Sing Me to Sleep. Right now, I'm joined by three members of I Hate Heroes. How about you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a quick bio of the band, a little history for people that may not know you.
All right,
I guess I can go first.
Of course, perfect.
Go ahead, Nick.
I'm the drummer. My name is Nicholas Chersky. And I am the guitarist. My name is Ricky Nishirsky.
Hey, I'm Ephraim Francis. I sing.
So, when did I Hate Heroes start, and how did it get to this point? For people that may not know your history.
It's a bit of an interesting story. The other two, the Nachersky brothers, were in another band in Reading, and I had just gotten out of one. I started an acoustic kind of solo project, put some songs on YouTube. This was back in late 2013, early 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably 2014, I'd say. And I guess they came across my stuff. They were looking for a vocalist. I was looking for a band.
So what type of stuff were they doing, like musically?
How would you guys describe it?
We were kind of a hard genre back in the day to kind of put on us. But we were, I'd say, a little lighter than what we are now. We didn't have much screaming. It was more or less just heavier instrumentals with a lot of singing parts.
Because that kind of interests me, because when you guys first start with your first EP, it kind of had that kind of like mix-up of that light and heavy. Yeah. So it just ended up fitting together.
We always
try and do something different, so we kind of combined what we both had before and just created something cool. So,
all right, so you guys Oh, sorry, keep going. My bad.
Sorry.
It's kind of hard with phone. You can't, get the visualization who's ready to talk.
Yeah, and we're all wandering around out here. I was just going to say we've always all been fans of kind of mixing the lighter and heavy vibes and try and create a unique, varied sound. It's hard to pin down,
So you guys are out on tour right now with Roseview. How's that experience going so far with them?
It's a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to hang with. They put on a great show live. The shows have all been great so far. The crowd response to our new album, and Roseview actually just dropped a new album as well, has been positive all around. So it's been a lot of fun so far.
So
I would second that.
Sorry, my bad. Keep going.
That was done, sorry. Go ahead.
So, like you said, you're playing new stuff live and people are reacting to it well. What was trying to implement all these new songs live?
Well, that was the fun part. We loved every song on the record, so we had to kind of sit back and see as a group, like, okay, what would fit best? What do we want to try and push out on the road? So right now, I don't know if the other bandmates would allow me to say it, but we're playing 4 new songs right now off the record. So we're kind of giving our older fans that kind of been with us a good taste of our music, as well as newer fans who are getting a little bit of everything old and new. So we picked the best songs that we think we thought we could market well, and that fit our sound to what we want to portray.
So playing all these different cities, you must played with a whole bunch of local artists. Which of them have been your favorite so far, or the nicest, or just like new friends you made?
That's always a difficult question because honestly, there's talent in every single town. Like everywhere we go, we have the privilege of being. We have the privilege of playing with like really skilled bands and actually like a good variety of different sounds. Like we've played with other metal bands, we've played with ska bands, pop punk, like rock and roll, like all kinds of stuff. Like that's one of the very interesting things about tour is seeing new places, meeting new people, and hearing all kinds of these styles.
Any shout outs you want to give?
Oh man, there's so many. Go ahead.
We just like to shout out everybody that has played with or shared a stage with us in any city or state that we played in. And we like to shout out also our fans for continuously supporting us and coming out to shows and having a blast and just rocking out with us. That's really all what music is about, is coming out and having fun.
So right before we start talking about the newest album, which came out 2 days ago, September 4th, what are some artists that you want to tour with in the future?
I think that'd be different for all three of us. And that probably contributes to the variety in our sound, but we're all kind of into different things. Ricky, you want to go first?
Me personally, one of my favorite bands over the past year or two, I would have to say, is Wage War.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the music they put out is just insane. Their guitar work is crazy. They're incredibly talented. Yeah, they would definitely be a band I'd love to tour with.
As far as me, I'm all across the board. My favorite band of all time was Weekend as Romans, which, rest in peace, Kyle, that really hurt the heart there. But besides that, I would love to be able to tour with Memphis Mayfire. That's one of my favorites. I would love to tour with Asking Alexandria. I know they may not fit our style too much, but they just look like super fun dudes to be around. So I think we'd have a blast on that tour. But and Secret is another one. But.
I'm going to be that guy and be like, I'm just going to put together a dream tour that may never happen.
That
works. My two favorite bands by quite a long margin would be Pierce Veil and A Day to Remember. They just have had such a huge impact on the way I write music lyrically and guitar-wise when I do contribute to actually writing the music. But they're definitely two huge inspirations for me.
All right, so let's talk about the new album now. It's called Save Yourself, for the people tuning in now. Came out September 4th. So let's start with the album art. So for people who haven't seen it, it's kind of a door with locked chains. So why did you use that imagery to put as like the face of the record?
So we ended up doing a music video for Alive early on with Josiah Moore. He's from upstate New York. And we kind of worked together on the concept of Alive. And that door ended up being like a pivotal theme, both in the music video and the album. It just became almost kind of like a symbol. And when we actually did a music video prior to having album art, and when we ended up doing the music video, just the theme of the song in general kind of fit with the whole theme of the album. So that symbol in that music video kind of carried over to the album and ended up being the album art.
So let's talk about that music video, because I was going to bring it up later. But where did you guys shoot that, and what was the production like in making it?
We actually knocked it out in a whole day, just like one day. It was a really fun experience. It went very smoothly. Again, we had the privilege of working with an experienced producer. He had a lot of good ideas. Sure, we had a few takes here and there that we had to get right, but at the end of the day, it all went very well. And I would do it all over again. It was a really good experience.
As far as the progression goes, we just pretty much sat down with Josiah, who did our music video, and we just kind of collabed. We talked about what we wanted to portray in the music video throughout the song, and we just from there we kind of built a storyline, and then we found the actress and stuff, and we just kind of put it together. And then we went up there one day and shot all the live shots, and then they did their other shooting with the actress by themselves in other locations, and then it just kind of they blended together and it came out really well. We're really stoked on it. So,
all right, so let's talk about the production of the record. You guys did a lot of experimentation. So what were your favorite things to implement into your music?
Well, for me personally, the only thing I always insist on with our EPs and even with this record is that I'm able to throw an acoustic on there because I'm a sucker for the soft stuff. Personally, I love heavy stuff too, but again, I like having that contrast.
Yeah.
So
It creates
I
a
was
nice
lucky enough to be
dynamic.
able to put my 2 cents in there.
So, for me, for production of this album, kind of with our previous EP, If Life Were a Book, Skip This Chapter, we were kind of all wanting to have our own moments on that EP, where we all kind of wanted to have our flashy parts in the songs. And this one, we wanted to kind of sit back and look at the song as more of a whole rather than individual instruments, and really kind of mature our sound while staying true to the roots of I Hate Heroes and the instrumentals that the fans have grown to love over the years.
And as far as our new album, like some things that we implemented, like we have a lot of really cool synth and piano parts in the back with strings. Like all that stuff is really beautiful. I mean, I love that stuff in songs. And just we tried different things too, like breaking up parts, adding different synths and stuff, trying to break up our music to get a different, unique sound, which we're all, like I said, we're all stoked about. We all love the album from front to back. We don't think there's a bad even verse on there. Not a bad song. So yeah, that's pretty much what, like what we liked about this album and what was different.
So with the background instruments and everything, what are maybe some subtle aspects of the record that people might miss or that like you really enjoyed that might not get the straight attention?
Behind a lot of different parts of the songs, especially in the choruses, there's actually a lot of different composition, like my brother mentioned with piano. There's a lot of very subtle piano in the background, a lot of very subtle bells, and so many layers. A lot of these tracks have so many layers embedded that even listening back to them, sometimes we even miss them, and we wrote them. And then we listen back like, oh yeah, that's right, we forgot that was there. And it's just so many different dynamic layers to the songs that as a listener, I feel like the more you listen to it, the more you pick up on the subtleties in the music.
And that's the other thing too. If you, for those of you listening, ever come out to a show, we have that in our backtracks as well, which most bands do. So when you come out, you'll definitely hear those, and it'll definitely add a whole nother dimension to our show, which we hope you guys all enjoy if you ever come out to a show.
So you guys are playing tonight here on Long Island. How about you guys just talk about that real quick before we move on?
Yeah, we're playing at Revolution Amityville. We have played here before. The show we played here before was awesome. We're stoked to be back here. We actually just played a show last night in Buffalo, so we came all the way across the state. Buffalo's rowdy. I know Amityville's going to rage with us tonight, so we're stoked. It's going to be a great show. We know Roseview is going to bring it. The local acts are going to bring it. It's going to be a fun time for sure. We're definitely excited.
So you guys are saying that like all the songs are your favorites, but if you had to pick one out of all of them as the best song on the record, what would you pick?
Don't do this to us.
We're gonna ask this
okay,
so
what's
much.
your? I'll change it up a bit. What's your favorite song to perform live?
Okay. That's also a difficult question because we didn't get to perform all of them live. But I'll go ahead and answer your first question. I think my personal favorite is going to be "If Looks Could Kill," which is track 10 on the album. To me, it's just that song kind of encompasses the entire album. It pretty much has all the dynamics that we have to offer throughout the entire album combined into one song. And to me, it hits right out of the gate when you hear the opening riff. I think Ephraim did a phenomenal job on the chorus melodies and just in general on the melodies to the song. They're amazing. The lyrics are great. And it has an awesome outro that kind of wraps up the album before the acoustic hits. So that one would have to be my personal favorite.
All right, well, I would have to say "Light the Way" is my favorite. I think, again, instrumentally, right out of the gate, it's very hard-hitting and dynamic. It just gets me pumped right away. The first 5 seconds, I'm already stoked. And when I first was trying to write the lyrics for it, that riff just gave me so many ideas swirling around in my head, like, immediately, and I had to put them all down, and it was a really fun journey writing the lyrics to the song, and overall, it's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, see, that's a hard question for me because literally this record is so personal to all of us and emotional. But if I had to pick, I'd say either if Looks Could Kill, I'd have to say because that's my baby. I put 2 months into writing that demo on drums, so I put a lot of time in that song. and that's my baby. If I had to pick though, I'd probably say either that or Alive, just because I really connect with Alive. It's a punchy song, right from the start. It hits you in the heart, and the lyrical content is just I can relate to it so much. So I'd say either Alive or Looks to Kill. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Looks to Kill, just simply because I said it took me so long to write that. But those would be my two.
All right. So before we move to the lyrical questions I have for you guys, how about you maybe share some backstories to some of the songs on the record?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Oh, okay. So before I move on to some lyrical questions for like certain songs, can you maybe share some backstories to some of the different tracks on the record?
Well, the record in general has an overarching theme, even though each song kind of personifies that theme in a different way. It's kind of like many branches on the same tree. I would think they all kind of point towards the namesake, the title of the album, Save Yourself, kind of the idea of being able to look inward and have the strength to pull yourself out of a dark situation without necessarily, having to rely on others. I mean, it's great to be able to have support from other people, but some people don't have that. Like some people aren't blessed with great friends, great family, people who look after them. So I'm hoping that the overarching message here is that you don't always need that. It's possible to be strong enough to save yourself,
Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. As I looked through pretty much all the songs, trying to pick out all the different lines that I enjoyed. So let's talk about specific lines now. I got 4 different songs I picked lines from. The first one's from Here's to You, and the 2 lines go, content to watch the world collapse through rose-colored glass. We build our walls to keep our fears on the other side.
Yeah. So you're asking kind of the meaning behind those lines?
Or like where you came up with the line, the inspiration behind it.
Well, I actually loved Here's to You is another song that I had a lot of fun writing. Just the instrumentals were so melodic and dynamic that it was fun to write the vocals over. But basically the main idea with those lines is it's talking about some people who kind of are complacent with their life, kind of sitting back watching the world burn, so to speak, and they may or may not feel like they can do anything about it. And that I kind of want to encourage those people to think more about what they could do, even in a small way, to help, even if they think that it won't help,
It's weird because when I read the second line, it just kind of brought ideas from Pink Floyd's The Wall, because of kind of keeping the fears on the outside from like all his mother's ideas into him. Then he tries to keep it, he tries to stay inside the wall and escape all the fears of the world, per se.
Yeah, I think it's a common thing when people are scared, they'll become defensive and they'll try to block out things that are uncomfortable or unfamiliar. And I think rather than running away from that stuff, we should try to explore it and understand it, and maybe you wouldn't be afraid of it then.
All right, so the next 2 lines that I picked out were from Ghost in the Mirror, and it goes, hiding your heart is like faking your own death. You'll live a lie until you choke on your last breath.
Yeah, that song was I was in a little bit of a different headspace when I wrote Ghost in the Mirror. It's actually about an old friend, used to be a friend. He did some shady stuff, and we had some disagreements. But at the end of the day, I feel bad for him. And the main idea was, like, he's trying to pretend to be someone that he's not, and I know that he's not that person. And it hurts me to watch him, like, decay into that, and I know there's nothing I can do. So it's kind of like a mixed bag of me feeling sorry for him and me like lamenting my old friend that I lost.
Mm. All right, so the next song is "Remember Me," and the lines that I picked out were, "We hold out for a happy ending in the wake of a breaking tragedy, breathing ashes to stop the bleeding. Regret will be the death of me."
So "Remember Me" generally is about something we've all been through, heartbreak. It's fairly obvious for most of the song. I tried to write it in a way that I could touch on multiple different situations that kind of all have the same root problem, which is a misunderstanding or a toxicity in a relationship. And those lines are just my way of trying to deal with a terrible thing that happened and not quite knowing what to do, but trying to fight through it anyway.
All right, so the last lines I have for you to explain is from The Battle, and it goes, "But when it's time to see the light, we turn away for fear of going blind."
That is one of my favorite lines on the album, I must say. The Battle is kind of about people who may or may not have ambitions, big plans or big goals, and they talk a big game, this and that. But when push comes to shove, when it's time to actually take action to accomplish said goals, they seem to fizzle out. Like it seems like when they actually are called to that action, it's hard for them to pull the trigger and do what it takes to become something great, rather than just talk about it or dream about it.
All right. Well, that's pretty much all the questions I got for you guys. How about you share where people can keep up to date with you and find your music?
So our new album, Save Yourself, is available everywhere. On Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play. Definitely keep up to date with our social medias. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're very active on all the above platforms. Reach out to us and say hi. We're extremely friendly. We'll talk to anybody. We love talking to different fans and stuff like that. So, definitely reach out to us and jam some of our stuff.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, for joining me and giving people an inside look on the new record. Again, how about you guys just say where you're playing tonight and why they should come down?
Tonight we're in Amityville, New York, playing at the Amityville Revolution Bar Music Hall. And you should come down. I mean, we put a lot of time and effort into our live show. We're really stern on trying to give the fans that come out a show, because we believe that that's the most important when people come to the show, because that's what they want to see. So we try our best to really hound down on our stage performance and stuff. So if you have free time, or if you want to check us out, make sure you stop down. We'll definitely give you a show, that's for sure.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, and good luck for tonight. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, brother. All right, thank you.